So you over there, Jenny? You run the show, huh? All right. So where was David during graduation? Do you know that one?
No.
He didn't show up either then?
I have no idea.
I printed everything out. Made some notes, etc. If you want one.
Sure.
No.
Backside.
Good. You got my vote. I know you know what's going on this week. The trouble is, it's gonna be name recognition. Damn it. You know what I mean? Did you? I'm surprised. Thomas in the road.
Oh, yeah.
With Wendy's.
Oh,
Because Wendy didn't. Do it again.
I remember she came up and said,
Yeah.
do it.
She didn't have anybody that could do it.
Right.
Then you got all this place and stuff.
Jenny's in charge.
What?
Jenny's in charge.
I guess you does her exact. It's
Yeah.
work.
That's the reason I was coming to my.
Well, you got to go
You just have lots of beans and inflict.
Casper. They're good. They're always on the low.
Miles on the vehicle.
Something for retirement. No chocolates? That's all right. I can go with this. That's all right. All right, we would like to welcome everybody to the UNT County School District Number 1 meeting, and I would like to call this meeting to order, and then have you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I need a motion to adopt the agenda.
Madam Chairman, I move that we adopt the agenda as presented.
I second it.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Any discussion?
Madam Chair, who's the second?
John. Do you want me to repeat that, who that is? That'd be helpful, okay. That was Dave and John. All in favor?
Aye.
And those opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right, we're going to move on to the consent agenda items.
Madam Chairman, I move that we approve the consent agenda items as presented.
Okay, and second?
Second.
Okay, that's Dave and Dan.
Yeah.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right, now it's the recognition.
Madam Chair, members of the board, I would like to recognize Timber Fitch. To do that, Scott, you want to come and introduce Timber? Oh, okay. Mike, come on up. Just introduce him.
My name is Mike Fackrell, Coach Fackrell. I'm a track coach at the high school. His address, 313 Sage Street, here in Evanston. It's my pleasure to come here today to introduce Timber Fitch. Timber is a extraordinary athlete we have on the track team. This year, 110 hurdles, 300 hurdles, state champion coming in. I have a couple other stats here for you, though, I want to put out here. We keep track of our top 10 list from as far back as we can track results back. And going through here, Timber, pretty amazing athlete coming in here. He's all over this list with different things that he's done. Just this year, he decided he wanted to try to run a 100-meter dash. And he ran a couple of them, ends up sitting, he is number 3 on our all-time top 10 list, sitting behind Gabe Hutchison, who broke the record from Reggie Hudson, which was back in 1989. And Timber is just slightly behind Reggie's number, and is number 3 of a 100-meter dash. This year, he's number 3 on 110 hurdle with a time that still got a little ways to go to move up into that for that, I guess, record place behind Tanner Davis. That's sitting from 2000. He ran 14.68 this year in 2026, but he's also state champion in the 110 hurdles. Kid was pretty amazing with this. It just dominated the hurdles all the way throughout, regions and in state, state champion, hands down very easily. 300 hurdles. This young man went off and he is our school record holder as of this year in the 300 hurdles. And this one in the race that he ran this year, won very easily. Left everybody in the dust. I think he was already hands up celebrating before second place even crossed the finish line. The kid was flying through there. So he's also on our record-holding 4x1 team. This team was actually set last year, so his sophomore year, set with a group of kids that were pretty hard to replace, but then he ran again this year, and he's on number 2, the team that's number 2 all time, so with the 4x1 right there. So young man is a very hard worker. He comes in, Coach Barker works very hard with those hurdlers. Times when Coach Barker has not been able to be there because of other track meets that he has to go to, he puts Timber Fitch in charge. Timber takes control of that and just runs the hurdle practice. So he's a very important key aspect to our team. A heck of a Red Devil and quite a hard worker. So, Timber Fitch.
What year is school? What year are you?
I'm a junior.
You're a junior, okay.
Yes.
Coming up.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be a senior this year. So.
Gonna be a senior next year, huh? All right. You can do it again.
That 4x1, how long was that? 400 meters?
Yeah, just one.
Were you the anchor or
I
what
was the
position?
starter.
Start?
Awesome.
Anything you want to say?
Just thank you all for coming.
Well, thanks for being here.
Do we want to get a picture with Coach Fackrell?
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah,
nervous?
Up here, we'll have you come up here.
Congratulations, Tim. It was great.
That's awesome.
Very much.
Yeah, the old man will take a picture.
Coach Fackrell. There you go.
That's what I was talking about. Yeah, there you go.
It's called the
Great,
Fackrell
thank you.
Hole.
All right, and now we would like to recognize Special Olympics and Coach Berger and the Unified State Track Champions.
Come on down.
All right, Madam Chair and members of the board, Superintendent Thomas, and I'm Ryan Berger, 60 Washakie Drive in Ennis, Wyoming, and distinguished gentlemen and ladies, other distinguished people. It's been a great season, been a great year for Special Olympics and Unified Sports here in Evanston. We're really proud of our team and their accomplishments. Just to give you a little feel of what we do, we start out in the fall with bowling, and we get going right away. Coach Drew and Coach Cox coach that sport in the fall. Then the winter comes quick, and Coach Cox and myself, we end up doing winter sports, which is snowshoeing, and we had a great season there. In both those seasons, it was awesome. And then and then in the spring, Coach Drew and I, we put together the track team, the unified track team and unified sports team, and we, as all you know, we've They've held this event. Wyoming, the state of Wyoming has put this event now on for 3 years. We actually participate in Special Olympics the whole season, so we still do our Special Olympics stuff, and then we go to the state track meet and we do participate in a track meet here, and then we go to the state track meet and we perform for a state title like all the other teams, and we compete against other schools, and now for 3 years we have been three-peat champions. That is a great thing, but more importantly, it's more than just being champions. It's being champions of your community, being champions on and off the field of sports and competition, which these athletes truly do, and they're amazing. They're not all here today. We were able to take 14 to that event this year, which was amazing, and we had some amazing events. Just to give you a little heads up, out of all the heats in the 100 that we ran, we had the 2 top placers in each of those. We had the top 3 placers in the long jump. We prided ourselves in the 4x1, and we won that relay. So we were 3-time state champs there. We've done that really well, those members on that team. The shot put was, although we weren't first, but we still placed about 5 people in the shot put, which was really awesome with stacks on points. It's been great. We love these kids. We love our unified partners and our athletes. So athletes, again, are those with intellectual disabilities on IEPs, and partners are those who don't have intellectual IEPs but want to be a part of the team and want to be a part of us and still come out. Some are brothers and sisters or siblings or cousins that come out and do stuff with us, and some are NHS kids, and some are just kids that want a place to fit in, right? And that's what we offer. And that is the best part about Special Olympics, is that fit in and that buy-in and just fun time that we have with these kids. Couple highlights here. We have Benny Chamberlain, who is an awesome shot putter, but runs 100 really well, does a great job, does all 3 seasons. He's an amazing athlete. Gwen Clooney, she's a freshman. She just started, and she's a partner with us, and she did bowling. She did all 3 seasons. She was a part of all 3 seasons. She helps out her brother and just helps out all the other athletes. We have Quillinan. He's been a part of Special Olympics now. This is your second year? Second year? He's a sophomore, right? Yeah. You're currently a sophomore, going to be a junior. He mostly helps us out. He's a great diver in the spring or in the fall, and then helps us out with track in the spring, and just does amazing. He's always in the hallways. He sees our kids all the time. And this is Dylan Curry. Dylan Curry has been with us now for a couple of years. We finally convinced him to come out for Special Olympics. He's loved it. He's done bowling, he's done snowshoeing, and he's doing the spring sport and shot put. But more importantly for Dylan, one thing the Special Olympics does for us is it opens up to the world. And we've had kids go all over this country and all over the world to represent not only their community, their families, but the state of Wyoming. This year, Dylan has been chosen to represent Team Wyoming at the USA Games, Special Olympics USA Games. We fly out next week on the 19th in Minneapolis, and we'll be in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And we'll be there competing all week. We'll be on ESPN for the opening ceremonies. That's on Saturday the 20th. So we'll be around the last team coming in, because we're obviously the 50th state in the union. So the host team they'll get to come in last, the host state. And but we're excited. I asked to be the Team Wyoming's head track coach, so I'll have mostly athletes there, so I'll be coaching track, and I get the honor to coach Dylan one more time in track. He has graduated from high school, and he's a senior. He just graduated, and he gets to still continue his last part of his career in high school and represent his community, his state, and it's just a great opportunity. I can't wait to be there. I know Coach Drew has done it before, 4 years previous, he coached the basketball team. I'm excited to do track. They only bring this event every 4 years, so we're excited, and it just opens many doors for all of us. How you qualify for that? You just have to win a gold medal at an event at Special Olympics, and then they'll put you in a hat and draw your name out, and then call and see if you can make. So that's the opportunities, and it's wonderful. So we're all excited. These guys have been great. The huge highlights about Special Olympics too is my thing is when we get to go to the state track meet and not only showcase our skills, but we get to see our comrades out there, and they loved watching Mr. Fitch win his championship. That was so much fun. He got to share that experience with our athletes and all that on the competition field. It was just a fun time. So other than that, that's pretty much. I know I'm long-winded, but that's what it is, and it's just amazing. It's an amazing group, and we just love it, and we keep going. I know that we're not all here, but boy, we got a good representation here tonight, and I appreciate all they do. So with that, I don't know, Kurt, Dylan, I know maybe Benny might want to speak. He'll have one more year. He's been in this since really when we got going. I call it the new era inception, because when I was in high school, we had Special Olympics, and then it kind of went away or just didn't get going again, and then we got it going about 11 years ago. I remember Benny, when he first came in, what grade were you in? You remember? I don't know. 6th grade? He was in 6th grade. So we were doing basketball, all of it, weren't we? So you came in
And a lot of changes.
A lot of changes. What's your favorite part about Special Olympics?
Well, I guess the bowling was a lot of fun.
There we go.
Likes bowling.
Yeah.
Gwen, what's your favorite part?
Ooh, I also like bowling, and then hanging out with Scarlett and William is the best.
Oh, great. Scarlett and William. Scarlett, she helped out with, and William is her brother.
State.
Going to state? Yeah, that's experience is huge. Dylan, what's your favorite part? Going to state. Good. It's awesome.
That is
So,
awesome.
Appreciate it.
Fantastic.
Yep, thank you.
Come up here, we'll get a picture.
I'll be tired. We won't be there.
Squeeze in there so you're all, there you go.
There we go.
Perfect.
Smile.
Hey, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Hey Dylan, when you go, you need to understand, when you go to Minnesota, the state bird, do you know what the state bird of Minnesota is? It's the mosquito. So take some spray with you.
That's good. And maybe we'll come back.
Yeah.
Report,
to
that'd be
the
great.
July
Yeah,
meeting.
please do.
Yeah,
Let's
definitely.
look forward to-
Yeah.
Will that be the first Tuesday? No.
Third Wednesday.
Third.
We're going to Wednesdays now.
No, just in July.
Budget session's the third Wednesday by law.
The third Wednesday. So we'll
We'll
come
send you
back
an
and do
invite.
the same report, just with me and
Yeah.
Dylan and I.
Be the 22nd.
That would be great.
Perfect.
Do the 22nd, or he'll let me know.
Yeah, we'll let you know.
22nd.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
And we might head out, because we have a meeting right now with Special Olympics about our flight.
Yeah, missed the budget
Oh, we
report.
are?
Yeah, you need to stick around for that.
Budget report.
That's the most important part of the meeting.
Oh, there's so much
Thanks for
fun.
coming.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
For all you do.
Thank you.
Good luck, Dylan.
All right, we're going to now move on to our discussion items.
Madam Vice Chair, members of the board, invite.
Hey, you're
Matt.
missing the most exciting part of the meeting, people.
Exactly.
We wouldn't lie to you. Yeah, thank you. Matt Williams will do his budget presentation. He's a little late because he was gone when it was his turn. So now it's his turn. So Matt, the time is yours. All 3 minutes of it.
Minutes?
I am. I'm trying.
Spread my face with water.
See what happens? You tell him that.
Where's your compadre? I need to text him then. I'll get him.
Well, the board can see it, so you can start.
Good, time to start. All right. Madam Chair, members of the board, thank you for having me be, for letting me be here. I mean, that's Evanston, Wyoming. That's UNT County School District #1, all of these athletes, and it's the same thing when we have students that are in activities, athletics activities, whatever it is. I mean, that was awesome. That's the best thing, the best part about this job, hands down, that way. So that was a treat. Okay, I'm going to go over a few highlights and a couple things we're going to be working on, and we'll get you guys through this and everybody that's listening and watching, so I appreciate y'all being here. We have an absolutely amazing staff in special education for UNT County School District #1. If you need a service, we'll get it. And as we navigate students through IEPs, we work with our certified teachers, our support staff, our paraprofessionals are phenomenal. Our certified teachers are phenomenal. Speech and language pathologists, consulting teachers. Our consulting teachers take on the bulk of the case management in all of our schools, and they really keep the minutia of special education going so that our teachers can be teaching and be with the kids where they belong. We have a variety of counselors and social workers. Our nursing staff is second to none. Occupational therapists, adapted PE teacher, psychologists, one full-time at this point, but we have another that is on contract, various interventionists to help us navigate kiddos through behavior components, assistive technology totaling 138. Then comes our contracts, and a lot of these come through our state-funded dollars, also through our IDA federal grants, and so it just depends on who you're talking about here, but it is paid for through those specific special education funds. We have a great relationship with Disability in UNT County. They support our students getting out in the community, doing mock job interviews, going out and shadowing, doing internships, preparing for that life after school, and the world of work and post-secondary education. We have great services for audiology, for our students that have hearing aids. We have a wonderful person that comes in and does that. LUCDA is a great partner as we navigate our littles through their child find process. They really help us make sure that we're identifying students at the earliest ages as they prepare to come to kindergarten. We oftentimes have kiddos, I guess not often, but there are occasions that we have kiddos that we need to take a deeper dive with their ELL components, English language learners, and so we have assessment services to help us go through that. Deaf education support, orientation and mobility for students with low visual acuity, physical therapy, like I said, school psychologists. We just do a heck of a dang good job navigating kids through difficult things and their families and making sure we get their appropriate services in front of them. If you guys have any questions, just stop me too.
Just a couple. Where are all these folks located? In all the schools?
They are here and there and everywhere.
Yeah.
So we have some that are district-wide, like our adapted PE teacher, Cody Freeland.
What does adapted mean?
So she helps students that aren't necessarily able to go to general education PE classroom, and she makes sure that we navigate them through PE standards that are more appropriate for their various needs.
Got it.
And then we also can push in and help within the PE settings as it's appropriate. But some educators and providers are
specific to buildings, and some are specific district-wide, and they go all over the place. We have someone come up from Ogden, from Star Valley. We just really contract in to do our best to make sure that we get services. And I'm sure there's going to be things down the road that are like, I didn't even know we needed that, until it's presented to us, and then we navigate through finding the right kind of service for students as it's appropriate through their IEP. So it's quite an amazing juggling act to make sure that we're fully staffed and equipped that way. Okay, every year we have indicators that we report to the state that go from academics to involvement in the general education setting to, like we were talking about, the post-secondary outcomes. And so these are the measures of effectiveness that we have. Now, we always have to look back a year because our data is always a year late from the current year that we're in. So we're looking at 24-25. So the indicators that we met, participation in our assessment for students with disabilities, we had a great showing for our kids. I believe it was 100% was able to participate in those. Proficiency rates, all but one tested grade group met or exceeded the state level, and that was awesome. Our students, all of our students, worked their tails off with their teachers every day to meet those levels of growth that way. We're always worried and very concerned about our students that might find themselves in a tough situation, and just because they're in a suspension or an expulsion situation, that should not eliminate them, and we cannot eliminate them from accessing their special education or assessments that way. And so we met those rates that are necessary. LRE, least restrictive environment. That is making sure that our students are in the least restrictive environment for their education. The very least restrictive environment is in the general education setting with their peers. It's debatable what's the most restrictive environment, but it's somewhere between being home on your own or jail. And then there's a whole bunch of other situations in between here. And so we missed this one, but I still wanted to put it up here because we missed one aspect of it by 0.59%. I don't even know how you equate that to a person, but it wasn't by much. And so we're going to continue to work on all sorts of fronts to make sure that we always navigate kiddos into their correct environments for learning. And I would argue that I'm okay. We make decisions one by one and kid by kid, and if we're over by 0.59%, then so be it. We're going to do what's best for kids as per the IEP team, which involves families and these providers that I was talking about. Any disproportionate representation as far as gender or race or anything like that, we met all those indicators that we're identifying appropriately. Transition planning on IEPs by age 16. Our students, that once they turn 16, a whole nother element of the IEP opens up, and they have the opportunity to start talking about what's their course of study, what kind of outcome is that leading them to at graduation. Are they going to be a welder? Are they going to go into the military? Do they want to go into education? Do they want to go into the world of work? We need to make sure that we're outlining them or lining them up so that they can do their best to meet those outcomes. As a matter of fact, every summer we call the previous year seniors and check on them that had IEPs and just see where they're at, what they're doing. Are they going to school? Are they gainfully employed, so that we can see are we being effective as we navigate forward. And then I think one of the ones I'm most proud about is our parent involvement. After every IEP, we do our very best to get parents to take a survey to say, did they have the opportunity to have meaningful participation in the IEP? And we did that one great, which is really key. Did not meet. We missed our graduation rate by 1.34%. So again, and then our dropout rate was over by about just under 5%. And so it is a constant opportunity to work with students. And there's some factors in these numbers that are a little disparaging that I talk about every year. Some of our students that are in school beyond the age of graduation that by law they can stay, they're counted against us, which is a federal thing, it's not a state thing. It's ridiculous and silly, but it's what we navigate through Besides that, though, we're going to continually look at ways that we can reach all of our students and make sure that we're using that whole continuum of least restrictive environment to make sure that we're serving kids and keeping them where they need to be and getting graduated that way. One area that we need to continue to work on is when we talk about post-secondary outcomes, there was a population of our previous year's graduates that chose to work and not go to college or some sort of vocational training scenario, whether that's, could be a lot of things. So we'll continually say, how do we do both, guys? How do you go to school, something that ups your hiring capacity, some sort of training while you're working, right? And so we want to help them do that. And then we want to always, regardless of how high we are, work on our proficiency on our standardized test. Besides the standardized test, our day-to-day learning, what are we picking up and how is it meaningful and making that impact? A few accomplishments. We have the best nurses in Depot Whitejumpers. They are phenomenal, all of them. I watch them do so many different things, and though they're not funded through special education, they fall under my student services department, and I just couldn't pick a group of ladies that are more competent, more loving, more caring, more fun, and just know how to do their job and support kiddos. They hand out a lot of ice. If you see a nurse and you ever need ice, they have an avenue for you. They can get you a bag of ice pretty damn quick. And then way bigger and more interesting things. Best related service providers, period. That's your speech language pathologists, your audiologists, your counselors, your social workers, your a lot of amazing people that do good by kids every day and by their staff. Best certified and classified special educators in all of the land. You go into any one of our schools and you're going to see a lot of adults. And a lot of those are special educators, certified teachers, and a lot of them are special educators, paraprofessionals. And those individuals know the kids. They are kids specialists, they are relationship specialists, and they know what's going on in their lives academically, social, emotionally, behaviorally. They're in the fabric of those kids' lives. I'm super proud of all of them. We have an amazing summer elementary social emotional learning support that we do a Friends in Our Fun camp. First few days of summer and the last few days of summer before school starts to get these littles. They're usually our little kiddos, our K, first, second-ish in there, and they kind of get that jump start to have that capacity to get back into school with the running that way. Mental health support district-wide, I can't thank Eric Williams enough, and again, it's not funded through special education, but it falls under my student services domain. The amount of support we give kids. Before my son graduated, he had his school laptop open. It's been a few years ago, and it had this anti-drug or anti-suicide or something like that ad on it. I'm like, Jameson, you put that on your laptop? He's like, yeah, it kind of is just on all of our laptops. But I was like, oh. But I was grateful for how much we're trying to do to keep kids safe and to support families as we keep kids safe. All teams are utilizing at every building the IEP process to ensure that least restrictive environment. We do a lot of compliance training within the building through our consultant teachers. We have a lot of data support so that we know where kids are at. I tell parents quite a few times that brain surgeons have it real easy. They get to scan, they get to operate, they get to do blood work, and we observe, and we take diagnostic measures of how are you reading, what's your fluency, how are you comprehending, where's your math, and we really try hard to just observe and get to the bottom of this with kids, and we do a heck of a good job. A big shout out to our consulting teachers for implementing trainings on the building level that I share with them and others share with them. They just do a great job. Our team teaching supports, we have a lot of our special educators in the general education doing a great job making sure that that can be the least restrictive environment for kids, and kids are really responding to that. Again, our staff, I just can't say enough about it. I love them, each and every single one of them. I appreciate them greatly. Looking forward, to 26-27. I want Dustin Blair, your new special education director, and I've been working pretty closely for 10 years, and really, really closely on stuff that he hasn't had to navigate through the last several days as he prepares to become our director in July. And I'm just really, really excited about him. He's been our school psychologist for 12-ish years, 12 or 13 years, and he is woven into all of our buildings. He's just had an opportunity to do such a great job that way. It would be a great spot for him. Ongoing staff support in all aspects of IEPs, and we want to make sure that we're implementing our direct instruction, direct services really well. Continue understanding and getting kids in that least restrictive environment. We want all kids to achieve. We want them all to learn, and we want to do it appropriately for where they're at with regards to themselves and their disabilities and their abilities. Every one of our kids are primed and ready to learn, and we help navigate through those scenarios. And then make sure we're giving adequate behavior support throughout the district, and specially designed instruction. That's the part. SDI, specially designed instruction, is the core of special education. And then finally, just effective grant management. Does anybody have any questions at all?
Yeah, I got just one.
Go ahead.
When will we be able to meet Mr. Blair?
He'll be sitting in that spot in July.
Okay.
So it could possibly be that third Wednesday, second Wednesday. If not, for sure in August.
Okay.
Thank you, Dan. Any other questions? So we're going to continue being a collaborative partner in the PLC process. Again, navigate students through difficult situations with interventions and supports. Our elementary behavior support classrooms are phenomenal, just doing a great job. Standards-based IEP goals and thinking. We want to align what we're doing with kids. I reference a ladder, and if this grade level standard where they need to be at is here, and they might be somewhere in the middle or wherever they're at, those rungs of the ladder are the steps that we're going to navigate through to get them to grade level as quickly and as appropriately as they can and as we can. We really want to support families through the process. And ultimately, I just want to say thank you. I want to thank Mr. Thomas and the admin team. They took a huge gamble on me 10 years ago when they hired me for this position after interviewing, and it's been the joy and the hardest thing I've ever done in my life as far as professionally and through employment, and I wouldn't change it for anything. So I just appreciate the board, I appreciate all the support, I appreciate my teachers and our community for giving me this opportunity. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
I just have one question if I could. You've been doing this for 10 years. What has been probably the biggest impact that you have seen from when you started to now? What has been something that is just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no. Honestly, anything good that's happened through special education that may have appeared to come from Matt Williams' office is because Matt Williams is surrounded by amazing people, period. And you'll experience that with Dustin Blair. He's one of those amazing people. And it's just been fun to watch such a huge effort come down to the student level every single day. And it's so much more than the emails and the paperwork and all that jazz that we all get stuck in the minutia. When you can go into a building and seeing that direct instruction, seeing that therapy going on, whatever it might be, speech or PT or OT or whatever the case is, down to that little kiddo or big kiddo level, and then see them go and winning state championships and unified track and stuff. So, amazing people.
Thank you.
Matt, congratulations.
Thank
Yeah, job well done, and congratulations on your new position.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, now we will move on to our meet and confer agreement. Ryan?
Yeah, we're at discussion items. This is draft budget. So I'm going to talk about the budget. A,
Oh,
discussion items. We're just starting off, so.
okay.
So, Madam Vice Chair, members of the board, you recognize that John Williams is not here. He's actually been working with his group of business managers in the state, and definitely very active in that group, and has made some inroads that have supported all school districts in Wyoming. So that's an important job that he does. He has provided you probably more information than you'll probably want or need in terms of the budget, which will be approved on the third Wednesday next month. So he's provided really everything. For me, the thing that makes the most sense is his budget message, and he's included updated. We provided you that last month, but now he's included that budget message, which is a narrative of the budget, but it includes now the meet and confer agreement. So it is complete. Pretty good. It's actually a very easy way to understand what the budget is as compared to looking at all those little lines on those spreadsheets. You can be very comfortable that John is very well along in terms of the budget for the next school year, and we're in a good position. John communicated with me today that there is an issue that you'll find later on the action item. That issue is the use of pre-1997 reserves. The lawsuit that ended in 1997 resulted in a pool of money that was identified as a reserve that does not count toward our other carryover. We've not really used it. It sits there in reserve. It's been really nice to have that buffer on whatever percentage of our actual carryover is. For other districts, it's vital because there's lots of money in those accounts. Ours is roughly $687,000 in that reserve account. What John is requesting, because of some of the changes through legislation, the biggest change is that we no longer can use general fund money to support our facilities. And we have great facility issues that we need to support. So John is recommending that we transfer that pre-1997 dollars into our depreciation account, which has been set up for replacing the turf field. We put that in place, if you remember, back when the turf field first was put in there. You need to replace those every 7 to 12 years. We're hoping 10. And so we put money in there to replace that turf field. Now we'd like to transfer this money in there and open up that a little through your approval to include the turf field, the domes, and our pools. Pools are very expensive, and we're not funded for pools. We can use 10% of our major maintenance money, but that doesn't even cover what it takes to operate pools. If we don't transfer this money, it moves into our regular reserves and counts toward our 20, I think it's 30% this year. We're still okay if that does that, but we lose the ability to use any of those reserve funds to support those facilities. So later you'll be asked to transfer that money, indicate the depreciation account is for those specific purposes, the turf, the domes, and our pools. So that's the information John wanted me to provide to you. If you have any questions on those spreadsheets or those reports, give John a call. He loves talking about that stuff. And he has the ability to read those small lines. I don't know how he does it, but again, very knowledgeable. We're very lucky to have him. So with that, any questions about
And we
the
would
draft budget?
approve that in July?
Yes, third Wednesday in July.
Okay.
Okay, moving on to our meet and confer agreement.
Okay, let me find that. As always, we have gone through the meet and confer process kind of later in May than normal. The process was good. Probably what made it good is we had money available. So I'll actually project this so you can see. This is the actual signed meet and confer agreement. I'll make it a little larger. Proposal 1 was salary. You can see that certified staff received 2 steps, which is $1,500. If you remember when we put this certified staff salary schedule together, it's $750 increments, but our commitment is 2 of those, or $1,500 a year for experience. A base increase of $8,000, which moves our starting salary to $61,400. This does move us probably a little above the average in the state of Wyoming. So even with that much money, we're just a little above the average, because many of those districts started way above us in terms of that average. We are going to follow the agreed-upon placement rules that we approved last year to make sure that we support our employees compared to those coming in new. The total increase is $9,500, which is an average increase of 14.3. Kind of the misnomer in all of this issue has been the legislature and their position of what they claim they've provided. They claim they provided everyone a 20% increase. This is the maximum increase we can provide our staff according to the law, because we had a commitment to get to that state average. Weird law. The idea of why couldn't we give more? Well, we only could give a certain percentage, 10% or to the average, and that's what we did. So if you look throughout the state, some districts gave as high as $20,000 Teton, and some gave as high as a step, $1,500. So we were way above that. It kind of illustrates what we've suffered the last really 10 years. And so that brings us to the average. We're hoping next year we'll continue that. What Wyoming needs to do is provide another increase exactly like that, which brings us closer to our competition in Utah. Still won't overcome, but we'll become closer. The support staff, you can see there, number 2, is we provided a step on their new salary schedule, which is 50 cents an hour, and then a base increase of $2.70 for a total increase of $3.20 an hour, which is an average increase of 16.0%. The administrators, just so you know, their average is 12% roughly, so a little less. But anyway, that certified and support represents $3.7 million. So again, appreciative of the new funds the state provided, the legislature provided. There's no way we could have pulled that off without it, of course. You can see that the certified general fund salaries, how much that was, and the support salaries. Again, just information for you. The next, probably an important caveat that you see is this understanding. Because of this wild nature of the silos, we're not really sure how they will impact us in the future. We do have some money left in the silo, not a significant amount, around $300,000, but it can't be used except for instructional staff, so we don't know how that will work in the future. So this is a statement we've included with all salary increases probably for the last 7 years at least. EE understands and agrees that a base increase and/or a step is not guaranteed and is a permanent reoccurring cost and may result in a reduction of staff salary and/or benefits for next year, 27-28 school year, if student enrollment declines and revenues from the state do not increase. The state provided roughly the same amount of money for next year, so that money is already in the coffers. But that just maintains the current baseline. If they don't provide an ECA, there'll be no new money coming in, so we have to plan accordingly. The second proposal is the health insurance proposal. We actually committed $500,000 to the renewal of health insurance, be it taking our current program or doing something different. We went out to bid. So we had that feed money sitting there to use just in case the bids came in more expensive. And until this morning, we thought they did. But I'll present a little bit about that later. It turns out that they came in better than we anticipated, and we will have a savings this year. We knew we'd have a savings at renewal next year, but now there's a savings this year. And so some interesting things and positive things happening with insurance, but I'll spend some time on that later. The retirement, is the lifetime service stipend. The only thing different with this one really is where it'll be funded. It'll be funded out of the general fund from here on out because we're taking the employee benefit fund and using that as our bank account for our health insurance because we went partially self-funded. So that becomes really a buffer to see what happens to premiums. Hope we have a great healthy year and we don't need to dip into that, but it's available if we need it. Highly recommended. That's John is the one who recommended that, Mr. Williams. That's how we do that. So from here on out, this lifetime of service stipend will come out of the general fund. The leave policy, no difference than it has been. We'll provide a leave incentive, which is $100 a day for unused general days. I think it's a great benefit, and flexibility for our support staff to use sick time for personal days if they need it. I think it's a great benefit, and we've done it for years. Proposal number 5 is to allow 1 point on the athletic addendum salary schedule. 1 point for a coach is about $125 of an increase. Not a lot, but still it builds. Increase hourly rate. We've increased our hourly rate for our subs in all those categories. It's surprisingly expensive. We spend a lot of money on substitutes. That's why we have the leave incentive, is so if we don't spend that money on substitutes, we're going to give it to our staff, and that's worked out that way. Retirement. This is basically a result of House Bill, you can see at 83, that passed in 2024. In other words, Wyoming retirement is put on an actuary-defined contribution. I guess it's a determined contribution, an ADC, an actuary-determined contribution. In other words, our Wyoming retirement rates will go up every 2 years. Now, they say it could go down if the payouts, the premiums paid in exceeds the payouts going out. That'll never happen. So this year we received a 0.25% for the employee and the employer's contribution, and then in 2 years we'll receive another 0.25% increase for both of those. What it does is it keeps Wyoming retirement solvent and healthy. So you can see both of those understandings, just to clarify for those. Additional topics, we updated the administrator's and director's salary schedule, as I mentioned. We took the base increase, just added to the base, changed their step from 1,000 to 2,000. Really exactly what we did to the certified staff last year, from 750 to 1,500. So we also added a column for the instructional facilitators. Since the state values instructional facilitators, we thought we better have a salary schedule attached to it. So we created one for that, based on what we pay an instructional facilitator. The other thing we talked about at Meet and Confer is the idea of exploring an online school. Hopefully the idea of recapture an ADM due to homeschool or online students. My position, if you want my opinion, we set a standard with the education we provide in this district. If we provide an online school, it needs to meet that standard if we're going to provide a diploma either from Horizon or Evanston High School. It should be the same standard. It should be the same quality of education. I haven't seen an online program that could do that. So I think we need to be careful as we move into providing an online school. I can understand providing online services to support students, let's say with medical conditions or other conditions, but a full-time diploma coming out of an online school we offer, it's just not comparable. I think we would be minimizing the quality of education that we owe these students in Evanston. So that's Meet and Confer. We will ask you later in the action items to approve this agreement. $4.8 million is the total cost of that package. Any questions?
All right, moving on to the EHS emergency project. Mr. Dennis.
Sounds like good news, right?
Yeah. No. Let me try skipping this.
Say, Madam Chair, members of the board, I've come to you tonight as a result of a discovery that happened on Friday. Our secretaries discovered some termites in Evanston High School, which I didn't realize we had termites living
In Evanston.
in Evanston. So we did have our road come and take a look to verify what it was. They did verify that it was termites that were found in the office there, and I had him put together a proposed remedy of what that's going to cost and what would have to take place. Unlike other insects where you can just go in and spray, with termites you actually have to go into basically the foundation of the building every foot and then inject their chemical, and then you fill that hole back in. And so as you think about the perimeter of the high school, just a couple hundred feet that you're going to take care of. Long story short, what they're proposing is that they would come in and do that. They would then monitor it for the next 2 years. So we'd have basically a 2-year warranty to verify that they did take care of the termites coming in and that we're not seeing any more coming in, and kind of move from there. The price tag for that is just shy of $200,000. I visited with John Williams to see if this is something that might be covered under insurance, and he assured me that when he gets back, he's going to visit with our Tegler to see, hey, is this something that's covered by insurance, which would be a win-win for us as a district, because then we just pay our $10,000. If not, then we will use major maintenance funds to cover this cost. So I just really wanted to bring this to your attention for 2 purposes. One, if you hear, yes, there are termites, yes, we're taking care of it, and kind of what the cost would be. Do you have any questions for me?
Have they gone beyond the office
Right,
perimeter to see if the termites are, where they're coming from?
right now, we have not seen it beyond the office, but once you get them in, they are kind of secretive and they kind of like to stay. And so what I'm going to guess, if they have, because it was in the millwork in the office is where they were discovered. You think about all the millwork that's along our classrooms, that's probably, if they have started to come in, is where they're going to be. Millwork and then in the sheetrock. So they will, in the office themselves right now, they'll go in, remove the baseboards, do some injection of some stuff as well. But to permanently do it, the recommendation is to drill on the outside and go through that.
Nobody's working in the office area.
Right now we do. I've got some secretaries who come in. And so.
Can relocate them?
Right now they feel safe.
I mean, with the chemicals and
But
stuff.
once the chemical starts, then we will relocate them to where we need to during that process.
We basically have July where there's no one in those offices.
So, and I've told them as we look at, I mean, we're now to the 10th of June almost. By the time funds come through, let's look at the July 1st start to do that.
Who's the contractor?
It's
They're out
a
of,
local company here out of Evanston. Rogue Pest Control. James Short is the one who's doing it. We use him for a lot of our inside pest control. Takes care of the ants and the other things. So. Other questions?
How's the roof project at Davis Middle School?
Roof project at Davis Middle School is moving right along. They just brought a semi-truck in last week to start making the tin itself. So it's being manufactured right here to the correct size. So that I'm gonna say is about 50% right now, is where they're at right now. So they're moving right along. Our electrical project inside is moving right along, starting to do the exterior work now. We've got milling. The front parking lot has been completed. We've got milling done in the back parking lot. I've got a new water line being brought in to Davis in preparation to remove the island that's back there. And then currently digging for the exterior lighting along the parking lot and the outside. So that's going on. So lot is happening at Davis Middle School, as well as the front of the high school where we're doing.
So how much of the high school is going to be milled? Asphalt.
Right now, what you see completed is Red Devil Drive, or that called the racetrack right in front, all the way to the south parking lot. So
South parking lot.
2 years ago, we did the north parking lot up to basically the gym entrance.
Okay.
And so now we're completing, so that just leaves us.
The other end, huh? I noticed you're taking them all up on the hill and making more parking lot.
Trying, yeah. So, but yeah, a lot going on. There'll be a whole new redesign on the racetrack, allowing for more parking, which will be really good.
North Elementary, whoever you had do the work right on Washington.
Oh, yeah.
It looks great.
That does.
I just have one question is, are you planning on putting a perimeter fence around that property for security? Because I know they still got the little creek in there. And
Yeah, that
the
was
back of the building makes it
contracted out. We're just waiting on them to, that'll be completed before school starts. And so they'll come up and do that this summer.
But they did, it looks very nice.
Really clean that area up, and it's a win-win for us when it comes to safety of our kids. So. Other questions? Okay, I'll keep you informed on kind of how things go at the high school at the next board meeting, but just wanted to let you guys know what's there. And we've all learned something new. Termites do live
in Evanston. Maybe they just live in the high
Thanks,
school.
It was the mild winter.
Okay, recommendation for health insurance services.
Madam Vice Chair, members of the board, this is, to me, very exciting. We do have really good news, and if you look up here, you can see this was the comparison that we used with the insurance committee to come up with the proposal that we accept. And you have all this information in here. I wanted to make sure you see it. You can see the recommendation. I'm going to start with the recommendation, and then I'm going to go to the actual cost that will show those costs. But the recommendation starts roughly right here. After careful analysis, administration recommends that UNT County School District number select Gibson Consulting as the district's broker of record and move forward with a partially self-funded health insurance program utilizing the Cigna Open Access Plus PPO network that is offered by EVHC as a third-party administrator. Gibson Consulting presented multiple plan options utilizing Aetna, Cigna, and EMI provider networks. Following extensive review and discussion, the Insurance Committee and Administration identified the Cigna Open Access Plus PPO option as the strongest overall choice for our employees for the district. That is our recommendation, and that's what will be approved later in the meeting. Let's see. You have this document in there. I want to talk about this. Probably the most important part is this first bar across the top. You can see that current annual cost for insurance in our district is $8.19 million. Aetna's renewal came in at 13.2, which moves us to $9.27 million. We anticipated that would be our cost plus the $500,000 I talked about before. Recommended EVHC cost is $8.2 million, which is an on-paper savings of $1.03 million. Notice that it's roughly $46,000 above our current current premiums, which is, for us, a huge win. This savings that you see will be used to provide salary increases next year. Also, a buffer depending on what happens. We don't know what's going to happen with insurance for really two reasons. We haven't been partially self-funded for years, and we have options that we've never had before, so we don't know how those options will impact us. You can see in this chart right here the actual costs, and that's the breakdown of where those costs come from. I wanted to point out, well, I'll come back to that, I guess, and I'll point something out in that chart. These are the rates you see in yellow. This is what our employees currently pay, and that's what they'll pay next year. So there's no increase to their premium. But you can see this in black right here is a high deductible plan that we've never had before. And I'm really impressed with it. It's a $2,500 deductible. Probably don't have time to go into all the details of a high deductible plan, but if you notice, those premiums are cheaper. Roughly $78 a month savings if a single picks the high deductible plan. For a family, it's $174 cheaper per month. So again, that's what we were looking for, is a cheaper alternative to health insurance. Because of the cost of these premiums, we can also provide an incentive, and so I'm going to show that. So if you look at the plan design, this is a side-by-side comparison. Like I said, you have all this information. A side-by-side comparison of our new open access plan, Cigna, and the high deductible sit side by side. If you went down the EVHC, roughly it is a mirror of what we currently offer. So it is exactly what we currently offer in terms of our program for the same dollar value. So that's good. There are some potential savings that we anticipated and told, I think, the board about, potentially $1 million at renewal next year. We didn't anticipate the savings starting, but it's there. One thing I want to point out is this high deductible plan, you can see that the district is going to provide seed money. We're going to try this and see how it works. In other words, if you sign up for a high deductible plan, the district will provide an HSA for $1,000 for a single and $2,000 for employee, spouse, employee, child, or family. That HSA is in their name. They keep it forever. So basically, it already starts them on this path to their deductible. How high deductible plans work is you have to expend your deductible before any of the insurances hit into it. But the interesting thing is you can see the deductibles for the regular plan is $3,500. The deductibles for the high deductible plan is $2,500. The difference is very few things. You can get coverage without hitting your deductibles. This one you can't. But the max out-of-pocket is what's interesting. The max out-of-pocket drops for the high deductible plan. So if I'm signing for this, I can look at a single plan on a copay, that's $7,000 max out-of-pocket. If I go with the high deductible plan, it's $5,000 max out-of-pocket. Plus, I've been front-loaded $1,000 in an HSA. So in other words, I roughly have $1,000 that I can contribute to that $5,000 max out of pocket. It is truly, I think, an impressive plan. If you're not healthy, you wouldn't take a high deductible plan. If you're young and healthy, you may want to look at a high deductible plan, begin to build up that HSA. And when you retire, it goes with you. When you leave the district, it goes with you. It's your money. It is truly a neat plan. We could not offer that before because we were fully funded, and the law doesn't allow that. So now we can offer it. So I'm interested to see how many people actually sign up for this. If you go down the comparison, you can see that the difference really is right here. For primary care with the regular plan, you have a $35 copay, and the deductibles are waived. The high deductible plan is you have to use the deductible. All the deductible has to be used before the 20% kicks in. That's the main difference, and you can see that all the way down. What is interesting here is if you're going for preventive care, there is no deductible. It's 100% paid for. That's the result of current law or Obamacare. And then continues on in the back page. You can, again, see the differences in those plans. One of the things that I'm excited about is Since we're going with Cigna's PPO, that is their national network, we actually increase our hospital networks along the Wasatch Front. We've never had that option before. So IHC is included in the PPO, Cigna's PPO. We lost IHC years ago, we get it back. And of course, we keep the University of Utah Hospital Network, a very positive thing for our employees, more choice. And then here, you can look at the costs. So this is the cost to a single employee. This is the cost to the district. That's the total. And then you see how that works. Here, if it was me, and I was going to take a high deductible, I would plan on probably keeping the same amount of premium, take that $78 savings per month, and put it into my HSA. Once you get to $10,000, which is your max HSA, that is also your max out of pocket. You actually have money in the bank for your insurance. It may take you a few years to get there, or you can turn around and write a check for $10,000 to reduce your tax liability, federal income tax liability. So a lot of neat things with an HSA. We're going to have to spend a lot of time talking to our staff and teaching our staff about this since it's new. But again, a lot more opportunities for our staff. We do recommend that you approve this plan as you see. Any questions? Oh, let me show you one thing I need to show you. This is kind of important. Back to that first page. If you go under the recommendation, this is the recommendation from Gibson. One of the things that we are not, it says here in this paragraph, the district contributes $1,000 per individual member and $2,000 per family member to employee HSA account on the HPP option. The way it makes it sound is that we do this every year. We're not sure if we can. So we do it this year to see if we'll have the funds. That will be a negotiated item in the future. I hope we can. What a neat thing if we can put $1,000 into these accounts. If you don't use your insurance for 10 years, you'll have your insurance paid for in that HSA. And when you retire, you can take it with you. So, pretty neat account. Any questions? Sorry.
All right, the staff satisfaction survey results.
Okay, let me find that. Madam Vice Chair, members of the board, you have all these documents. What I'm going to start with is, this should look familiar. This is our staff satisfaction survey, and I'll go through it. You can see at the top, we had 208 responses, which is about 25 more than we usually get on average. You can see the positions, you can see the primary work assignments, probably an even split between elementary, roughly middle and high school should be the same, and then district administrator or district assignment. First question that's always asked is the focus of the school board on their goals, objectives, and the strategic plan. You can see that some satisfied and somewhat satisfied is 84%, somewhat dissatisfied or dissatisfied is 6.8%. I will show you how that compares to the previous years here in a minute. This is the work completed by the board, 83%, satisfied or somewhat satisfied, 8.7%, dissatisfied or somewhat dissatisfied. Board's response to the wants and needs of the staff, 78.9%. That's the first time that I think in 9 years we've dropped below 80% for these categories. And 14% for dissatisfied and somewhat dissatisfied. Superintendent, focus on the superintendents on goals, 88.9%. Satisfied or somewhat, 6.2%. Dissatisfied or somewhat dissatisfied. Work completed by the superintendent, I think that's 90.4%. And then 5.8% is dissatisfied. Superintendent's response to the wants and needs, 86.5% and 9.1%. Focus on district goals is, I didn't tally those up. Who's got a quick brain? I don't know why I didn't tally them. But you can still see there in the 80s. And I can show you a comparison here in a minute. And then the climate is really the question we get to. 87.9% say they're satisfied or somewhat satisfied with the climate, and 12.2 say they're somewhat dissatisfied or somewhat dissatisfied. I can tell you, as the person who sends it out and gets it back, really the only anomaly is there isn't any. I mean, I wish we got 600 responses instead of 200, but that's the way the surveys go. If you look at the numbers of those that somewhat dissatisfied and dissatisfied, just as a glimpse, there were 5 individuals that were dissatisfied on everything. And you had probably many more than that that were satisfied or somewhat satisfied, but it's just kind of a unique response to have dissatisfied on everything that's happening in where you were employed. But it happens. Let me show you the next thing in here. So these are the satisfaction survey results compared over the last 9 years. And this kind of may be hard to see. I'll try to make it a little bigger. Guess that's as big as I can get it and still be on the screen. So this one, of course, is the current year. And you can see that we're still right at that 80%, which is right here. We've had worse years, we've had better years. The highest year, of course, was during COVID. Our staff was very satisfied with how we treated them during COVID, and they should. The board took care of them. So if you look at the differences, it is kind of a drop in the number that are satisfied as compared to somewhat satisfied, but the overall is above 80%. It still intrigues me that we have those who put don't know. So, but anyway. The next one is the work completed by the board, and similar again, 3.7 is a little higher and somewhat, but this is down a little bit. Still right at the 80%. School board, this is the one that drops below 80%. You can see there's a big drop in terms of those satisfied with the needs of students, how the board responds to needs of staff, parents, and community. Kind of surprising. Probably need to look at the comments to figure out why they feel that way. Superintendent, again, high 80s for district goals, objectives, and strategic plan. Hits the 90s for the work completed by the superintendent. And staff's response to the wants and needs of the community sits at kind of mid-80s. This is the district's focus on goals, objectives. You can see that it is the mid-80s, like it was before. You can see how those compare. Like I said, you do have all those charts, so if you want to spend more time, you can. Work completed by the district, so this would be district level. Again, high 80s. Buildings response to the wants and needs of students and community is mid-80s. All of them are kind of, you can see how they fluctuate. Not the lowest we've had, but not the highest we've had either. And then the overall climate of the district still in the mid-80s, which, in my opinion, is unheard of. To offer a climate survey and have your staff 85% satisfied or somewhat satisfied. We're doing pretty well. The question that I should have showed you, I did ask the question, is it time for a new satisfaction survey? The majority said yes. So we'll look at that moving forward. I did also include for you the staff satisfaction comments, the way we've broken it out before. We don't go into those tonight. That is really a confidential thing because names are named. If there were disparaging remarks about employees, I took the name out. I just don't think that's okay. You guys have access to the names, but in terms of me showing it in public, we're not going to do that. So, again, just looking as an outsider, facilitator of this, there are more positive comments than there are negatives. The negative comments, there are probably much less, but they're longer. They have more to say, but they're not as many. So some of them are, and I think I've told you this before, are disheartening to read. Some I understand, some I don't understand. Nothing is different than what we've seen probably the last 5 years. So with that, you could probably figure out what they're concerned about: insurance, salary, 4-day school week. I think we had 4 individuals mention that this time on the dissatisfied. There were some curriculum dissatisfaction. But what's interesting is you compare it to the positive, you see more people saying, love the curriculum, love what we do. It is just interesting, the different opinions. That's why you do these surveys. Dr. Ingalls will provide a way for us to, you guys, to have that discussion in the future. We used to include it in the retreat. Again, that'll be up to Dr. Ingalls how you do that and how you use this information. But again, good information. I'm glad we have it. That is the survey. I know I went fast, but I'm sure that's what you want me to do. But it is there. You got months to use this to help us come up with a strategic plan moving forward.
All right, thank you. Now we'll open it up to public comments. Don't everyone rush the pulpit.
I am good. Felt like this meeting was going a little short.
Bring the cookies out
Gotta
again.
make it long. Jeff Phillips, 822 Main Street. I liked seeing the special education folks and Timber Fitch here today, and I also appreciated that they skedaddled once we got into the business of our meeting, and that is because, like all of our meetings, our meeting today is pretty boring. It happens every single month, and there are a couple of reasons why our meetings are so boring. We just saw the business that we have to address. It's termites, which is kind of fun. I mean, that's new. Didn't see that coming today when I woke up this morning. But even the satisfaction survey, not too controversial. It's a lot of the same thing that we've been seeing for several years. And that is because as a district, we function at a very high level. And a large part of that, a large reason for that, is due to the incredible work of Ryan Thomas and Doug Rigby, and all of our administrative staff, but I'm obviously focusing on those two because of their retirement. It's not just that we function at such a high level, but it's also because of all the work that goes on that no one ever sees. I'm fortunate that I get to see just a little bit of it, but most of the public doesn't get to see any of it. It's confidential. They work with students, they work with staff, and it's never ending. It's hard work. But it's all confidential. The public never sees it. I'm so puzzled right now that the state of Wyoming, our legislature, a lot of the public have not just declared war on public schools, but they've declared war on administrators. They sent that message with the budget that they just passed, and it was a clear message. It just blows me away because I see what two men like Doug and Brian do on a daily basis. The hats that they wear, they aren't just educators. At times they're police officers, they're counselors. They're not just leaders, not supervisors. They have to be parents on a regular basis. And our school district wouldn't function without them. Our community wouldn't function without them. It's just a reality. We wouldn't have successful people in our state without public schools. But for whatever reason, that isn't being recognized right now, and it's frustrating. I know it's frustrating for all of us, but it's just absolutely true. I think about my family. I've been here, I started at Clark Elementary preschool in 1977, and My whole family has grown up in this district, been impacted by this district, and it really is a part of who we are. And I can tell you that our district, you know, we talk about being boring. Our district has not always been boring. It hasn't. But it is today, and that is, to me, a mark of success. And it is, again, in large part due to the work of Ryan Thomas and Doug Rigby and all of our administration and our staff. It really is. I thought it was fitting at graduation that it was so dignified and so respectful and such a wonderful ceremony, something that our community could be extremely proud of, because that hasn't always been that way either. And I know that this isn't Ryan's biggest accomplishment, but at one point in time in our history, our graduation ceremony was embarrassment. And it was something that was extremely shameful, not just for our school district, but for our community. And I just thought how appropriate it was that Ryan was able to give a speech that recognized all of the students. And I watched Doug organize all of the students, have them sit at the same time, and just how respectful and appropriate the whole ceremony was. And no one felt like they weren't able to celebrate their graduating student. But at the same time, as a community, how proud we were, not just of our graduates, but of the whole ceremony as a whole. I will say that my mom was furious at Ryan, though, because she wanted everyone there to give him and everyone in the district a standing ovation. But in typical Ryan fashion, he didn't give us that opportunity. He made sure the focus was on the students. You have to take that one up with my mom, Ryan. You know, as I was sitting there thinking about the budgets and termites and all of the little things that we talked about in these meetings, I also thought about all of the lives that are impacted in a positive way because of the work that Ryan has done, the work that Doug has done, the work that every single person in our school district does every year, including everyone else who's retiring this year and everyone who retires every year. But all of these people, not just here in Evanston, but all over, who have been through our school system and have an education, but more than that, have learned how to behave appropriately, have learned how to follow rules, have learned how to be good men and good women and be respectful and treat other people appropriately, and have stayed out of trouble. I don't know how you can measure those things, but it's just, the impact is just incredible that we have as a school district, and the good leadership like Ryan and Doug have given us over the past few years. I am personally thankful to them, and I want to thank them on behalf of the community, on behalf of everyone in Evanston, on behalf of every life that they have ever touched over the many years. I am excited about the future. I'm excited that we can continue to have boring meetings, which I know will be a mark of success. And that's all I have for public comments. Thank you very much.
No,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to our action items.
Members of the board,
Personnel.
we do have two recommends for contracts. Of course, our recommendation is that you approve these contracts as listed.
Okay, I need a motion to approve the contracts as listed.
Madam Chairman, I'll make the motion to approve the contracts as listed.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, so that's Dan and Jessica. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, those opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right. B, first reading policy IHBI, time and effort policy.
I do need to tell you to ignore what's in assembly. Somehow that's not the right document, so you don't want to approve that on first reading because it is not the right one. Let me put this up. The screen's still active, I can show you. This is one of the policies that came about because of the legislative session required by law that we have for federal programs and for our own programs, time distribution records for federal programs. So this is a new policy that's been created. It's a draft policy that I took from the Wyoming School Boards. So it is straightforward. Basically, the idea is how we do time and effort logs. And for us, we've selected this right here, appropriate annual, semi-annual, or monthly records. There's not much other choice. And we do all of those. So we may have individuals that keep track of their time and effort and report every month, every semester, or semi-annual, or once a year. And that's how they are paid for by these federal programs. We've always done it, but we just didn't have a policy saying we've always done it. Now we do have a policy. There's really nothing controversial. It's what we do now. Like I said, really pretty straightforward. I am comfortable either way. If you're okay with approving this policy as you see, I will make sure it gets into assembly for second reading, but I know you didn't have a chance to read it. So you can also table it if you choose. I'm okay with that too, and we'll just approve it in July and August.
Yeah, just move on.
I'm fine
Yeah.
approving it. But,
Okay.
Yeah.
So
all right.
I recommend that you approve, make sure I get the title right. Recommend that you approve policy, come on. IHBI, time distribution records for federal programs, as you see before you.
Okay, so do I have a motion to approve IHBI time distribution records for federal programs as we see listed?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
All right, that's Dan and Caleb. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right, C, approve, meet, and confer agreement.
Members of the board, I recommend that you approve the meet and confer agreement as was worked up with the board's team and the EEA's team, and express appreciation to the board members that served on that committee. But please approve this.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the meet and confer agreement between the board and the committee?
Madam Chairman, I move that we approve the meet and confer agreement.
And I'll second that.
Okay, that's Dave and John. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, item D, approve health insurance services for the 2026-27 school year.
We do recommend that you approve Gibson as our broker of record, EDHC as the TPA, and their plan, which is a Cigna PPO. Neat opportunities for staff, real excited about this, and hope they will be too. Recommend you approve.
All right, do I have a motion to approve the health insurance services for the 2026-27 school year?
I'll move.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second that motion.
Go ahead.
I'll
Okay,
second
Jessica is the first
And
and Dave is the second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. All right, and item E, approve the transfer of funds to the district's appreciation account.
I'm going to make this recommendation because we want to make sure it's specific, so I'll just read it to you. I recommend that you approve the transfer of pre-1997 reserve funds, which are $678,000, to the district's depreciation account, current balance of $650,000. These funds will be used for the maintenance, repair, and/or replacement of the district's turf field, the domes, or the DMS and EHS pools. The balance of the depreciation account after this transfer will be $1.32 million.
Okay, so do I have a motion to approve the transfer of pre-1997 reserve funds, $678,000 to the district's appreciation account, which is $650,000. These funds will be used for the maintenance, repair, and/or replacement of the district's turf field, the domes, or the DMS and EHS pools. The balance of the appreciation account after the transfer will be $1.32 million. Do I have a,
I make a motion to what you said.
okay? Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, so that's Dan and John. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. All right, we have the superintendent's report.
Madam Vice Chair, members of the board, you haven't seen one of these before, because we haven't had one, so I'm starting a new tradition for Joe to do as he wishes in the future. I wanted to take this opportunity to publicly thank the district for the wonderful years that they have provided me. So I got something to read, because if I just say it, I probably won't get through it. I want to share a couple of things that I'm most proud of. And these are not my accomplishments, I think they're accomplishments of the district. And of course, we've done lots of little things, but we've done some big things. I could spend all day talking about these and why they're big things, and maybe with reading between the lines, you may see why they're big things. First one I put is EHS graduation. In 2002, we had a board member report in the newspaper that EHS graduation was a travesty. And I was the principal at the time. It hit me really hard. We had a kid light himself on fire, and it was just out of control. So in 2003, Mr. Ben and I put a committee together of parents, students, and staff, and we changed tradition. And that group, from 2003 on, if you have seen graduation since then, it has truly become a ceremony where we celebrate our graduates, not horseplay.
A lot of work, a lot of work.
Something that our community should be very proud of. Changing tradition, changing habits is very hard to do. Something that the team that did that, and the district sticking by it, because it was hard, but we pulled it off. And it has changed tradition and changed culture. And now the culture is just like Mr. Phillips said, and by the way, I'm going to debunk some of his points, but just like he said, it's something to be proud of, and it just happens now. It is the culture that we do have a ceremony and we celebrate our graduates. It has been a positive impact for 23 years. Evanston Middle School, from start to finish, if you can look at that process, it's not just a school. We probably worked for 5 years, first of all, to convince the state it needed to be replaced. They offered us a 5-6 building, 55,000 square feet. It would have caused issues in our district that are just unmeasurable. Look at Davis alone, 400 kids at Davis. They can't put 400 kids at Davis the way it's currently constructed. So it took us 5 years just to convince them to do something different. And the team that was involved in that offered to renovate instead of replace. So because of the renovation, we have 84,000 square feet of a facility that is very appropriate for what it was built for, a middle school. That process was brutal on the board, brutal on our community. We had one bid. To me, what it reflects is the leadership involved in that whole team to pull that off. And now have a facility we're proud of. It may be another 20 years before we're looking at another facility because of how they're backlogged. But that's something that we should be proud of. And it's just not Evanston Middle School. It represents all the work that's been done in this district for our facilities. Walk into the high school, other than the the termite drop. It's something that we should all be very proud of in this community. Our facilities are first rate, and we have fought to keep them that way. Our maintenance department, our custodial department, how our teachers take care of it, how our support staff take care of it in our facilities is something that we should be very proud of and never forget how important they are to this community. CKA. Again, I think that represents in our district 8-10 years of struggle. It wasn't something that I recommended. If you recall, I actually voiced opposition to it. But we had 3 election cycles, and every board member in those election cycles supported it. And we fought with the state, we fought with local individuals who just didn't support the law. We were the first in the state to pull it off. I do think it was the model for everyone that's doing it in the state, and it was the board who made that decision to take that stand. But it's just not CKA. I want to make sure you understand that. It represents everything else that we've done to provide security for our students. To get to CKA, we did, I can't even tell you how many things we did to secure our facilities for our students and our staff. And again, first rate. Security, safety. I can tell you, I worried until the last day of school that one of our kids would be hurt. That's victory to me. HRS, it's probably not for the reasons you think it is. It's nothing about the recognition we received. That's not why HRS has been important. HRS represents a systematic change since 2016. And to change a system is like turning the Titanic, a system this large. And it represents, I believe, the best and brightest of what's happening in education. It's a model of school improvement that we've followed consistently, and we haven't done anything consistently in this district in previous years. We were up and down, up and down. We stuck with it, and it was the right thing to do at the right time. The payoff is in student learning. That's what it's all about. But it represents a great deal of leadership and effort and work by everyone in this district to pull that off. It's something that we should be very, very proud of. The idea of a safe and collaborative culture, when someone voices opposition to HRS, I would really like to sit down with them and say, is there anything wrong with having a safe and collaborative culture? That's where our professional learning communities came in. Effective teaching in every classroom, that's level 2. The expectation is that every teacher follows a standard, and it's a high standard. 3 is guaranteed and viable curriculum. Not only are we doing the right things in the classroom, but we're teaching the right thing and learning the curves. And then standard reference reporting with the goal, maybe in the future, of that idea of individualized instruction, which is level 5. Something our district should be very proud of, and I hope it continues, that level of school improvement. Lawsuit. I've actually been involved in both. And it's something our district, very bold. I can tell you that it's just not the lawsuit that's important. It represents all the work and effort we put into that before we decided to join the lawsuit. We did everything we could to try to change the legislative direction, and still they ignored us. So the board, again, took the vision and sued the state of Wyoming. And we overwhelmingly won at the district court level. The $4.8 million we showed you is a direct result of that lawsuit. The 8.5% we got in ECA the previous year is a direct result of that lawsuit. So this community, this board, improved education statewide for every child in this state. We should be very proud of that. Let's see. I did put the impact is real, impact is not over. Improving education for every child going on. The other thing I'm proud of that takes a village is board relations. I've been superintendent for 8 election periods. That represents roughly 32 new board members. Every 2 years, the board roughly flips in half. And the opportunity to work with those 8 different board members has been truly a privilege. Challenging sometimes, struggling sometimes, but I can tell you the last, I'd say 8 years, the board has been so supportive of education in this community. Again, our community needs to be proud of the services that the board has provided. And being a part and not losing my job after 2 election periods is always positive, but 8 is kind of unheard of, and that's a positive for this community. Relations with staff is probably one of the things I'm most proud of. I think we have done everything we can to show that the staff is our most important asset. And I put in here that we have focused on what is best for our students by focusing on what is best for our staff. And that is the thing I'm most proud of, is the learning that has occurred with our students over the last 40 years. We should be very proud of that, and I am. So with that, I just want to say thank you for allowing me to be a part of this district and grow as an individual, as an educator, and I'll never forget all of it. So to the staff, it's going to be hard not to see you as often as I do, but they may be glad to see you as often as they do. So with that, thank you for everything you've done for me personally.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we'll open it up to board roundtable.
I just have a comment. I kind of wondered what I was going to say when this came to this point, and Mr. Phillips, thank you. That's an act that I couldn't follow.
Yeah.
And just what you said was great, and thank you very much.
Yeah, I agree. I can't top what Mr. Phillips said because that's my sentiments exactly, but I've been on this board since Ryan became superintendent, and I've seen a lot of improvement, and we've been through a lot of struggles, as Ryan mentioned, and I think we are in a great place because of you, Mr. Thomas.
Thank you.
And I have always had support for you. So.
I'd just like to say, Mr. Thomas and I go back a long, long time. When I came here in '91 as the assistant principal, I had come from a school district that I had cleaned up, and I used corporal punishment. And Larry Stick hired me, but he never told me no corporal punishment. And the funny thing was, in '91 to about, maybe '97, somewhere in there, the mandatory attendance in Wyoming was 14. And that was my key, because I kicked them out of school, and we brought them back in with the parents' approval, but it worked out. And Ryan was in the classroom at the time, but he remembers those days. And I appreciate his friendship. I appreciate the opportunity I've had to be on the board with him. He's been a great leader and a great friend. Thank you, Mr. Thomas.
Yes, ma'am.
And Doug, we feel the same about you too. We're not leaving you out. I've appreciated working with both of you, but the work that you've done for this district, both of you, can't be measured.
Madam Chair, I move that we adjourn.
Okay, do I have a second?
Oh, yes.
Okay, that's Dave and Dan, and we are adjourned.
Thank you.